right, so today we are going to do how to graph a linear inequality, so you guys know how to graph linear equations in the form of y equals mx plus b, but today you're going to graph inequalities, okay? So inequalities are that of the greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, okay? So we're just going to do this together. This is just a checkpoint of what to do in what order, and then we'll have 6 examples. So the first one, solid line or a dotted line. Okay, solid or dotted line. So if you think about it, when we do a solid line or when we do like a filled in circle, it's the ones that have the lines underneath. So if it's a greater than or equal to problem, it's going to be a solid line. If it's a dotted line, it's going to be the greater than or less than. Okay, and what I'm talking about is if it's going to be like this or if it's going to be like this. And of course, positive, negative, undefined, or zero slope. Reminder, you guys can pause and rewind this video whenever or how long you want. All right, number 3, then we have the shade above and shade below. So when we graphed them just on a number line, we shaded left or right. If it was negatives, it was less than. If it was greater than, it was positive. So in this case, when we're graphing on our coordinate planes, we're going to shade above or below. Shading above will be y is on the left-hand side, would be greater than or equal to. And then shade below would be the less than or equal to. Okay. So for instance, just an example, let's just say we have this line and we would shade above it. That's what we would do. Or if we have this line and we're shading below, we would shade below. Okay, so those are just examples. Okay, so those are the things that you need to identify first. Now, the second one is, or the 5th one is, you need to graph the linear inequality. Now, we are going to graph these just like y equals mx plus b. But of course, the equal sign will be one of the inequalities. Okay? But again, we're still going to graph b on the y-axis and then slope, rise over run. Okay? And then the last one is just check a point and make sure we're good to go. Right? So, solid or dotted line, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, would be a solid line. The dotted would be the greater than or less than. It will look something like this. Shade above and below, depending if we're saying y is greater than or equal to, or if x or y is less than or equal to, we'd shade below. Then we would just graph. We would start at b on the y-axis, rise over run. Make sure you still identify if it's a positive or negative slope. And then number 6, we would check a point. Okay, so these are the notes. Now we are going to do some examples.